I'm Jerome. I'm a good Catholic boy. My parents brought me up to respect my religion, be kind toward others, take care of my appearance, be gentle in temperament, study hard, and take part in activities at school. Many girls at school like me. Their cute smiles in my direction and haze as they twizzle with their hair tells me that much. Some of these girls are pretty and all, but they're missing a special charm or something. I just don't like them in that way. My friends think I'm crazy, especially when the prettiest girl in school, Molly Summers, asked me out, and I said no. Well, I'm not crazy, it's just I've never met one girl who can captivate my heart until I met Jess. Actually, I have heard the name Jess before. She was a rebellious tomboy with short, scruffy hair. She was nearly always late to class and often said rude things to the teachers. Not only did she have a liking for breaking the rules, but she even led a gang of troublemaker boys in school. This always secretly made me laugh. These rowdy boys couldn't see how lame they looked being under the control of a girl. Although I heard her name for a long time, I never thought that one day I would encounter her. This was a gloomy Monday morning. I managed to miss the bus, so I had to run to school. Running late and terrified about getting detention, I was rushing at full speed from the entrance to the classroom. I ran around the corner and banged face first into Jess. She screamed out, then fell on top of me. We banged our heads painfully and our lips touched. Too embarrassed, we stood up and ran to the classroom without saying a word. Okay, so I didn't expect my first kiss to go like that. It was so awkward. The next day, Jess's rowdy boys were waiting for me outside school. They interrogated me for stealing Jess's first kiss. I tried explaining to them what happened, but they didn't listen. Instead, they tipped out the contents of my rucksack, then told me to stay away from Jess. I closed my eyes as one of the grunts went in for a heavy punch. Only the impact didn't come. I opened my eyes to see Jess there, blocking this guy from getting to me. She went crazy at them. She was so fiery, it was like she morphed into this magical creature. I made them apologize to her and then to me. Then they sulked off. Now I understood why Jess is leading these crazy boys. After that incident, I thought it would be best to avoid this girl as far as possible if I didn't want to get stuck in trouble. But then some things happened that changed my mind. Once I had just finished an extra night shift at the cafe I work in when I saw an old lady struggling with a pile of groceries in the opposite supermarket. I was about to cross the street to help her when I saw Jess there. She was so focused on her phone that she trampled on the old lady's tomato. This made me mad, and I was about to go and tell her so. Then I saw her take her backpack off and grab all the things on the ground. Was she seriously going to steal off an old lady? But no. Instead, she handed the backpack to the old lady and quickly carried all the remaining plastic bags for her. The old lady looked both shocked and thankful. I felt bad for thinking the worst of Jess. Another time I saw that she was feeding a wild cat. When she saw me, she quickly stood up and left. Those small, silent actions were far different from her appearance, and I fell in love with this girl. I couldn't stop thinking about her. She literally wouldn't budge from my head. I knew that I needed to come clean to her about my feelings, so I asked her out on a date. The first time, she panicked. She swore a sentence and left. But I dared to ask her again. And this time, she just coldly replied, "So let's try." I'm happy like crazy because I know that despite her cold and careless appearance, she's really warm and adorable inside. I told my friends and they massively overreacted. They said they knew she was trouble, as they'd seen her fight, and they told me to go and date Molly instead. When my teacher saw us walking hand in hand in the park, she phoned my parents and told them that I was dating a spoiled, disgusting, and destructive girl, and that she would probably ruin me and drag me down with her. My parents were mad. They longed for me to find a nice Catholic girl, and they thought Jess would corrupt me. I explained that Jess was different, and eventually agreed to give her a chance. My mother said the whole family would go for a picnic at the park on the weekend, and asked me to invite Jess to join us. I was so happy, I honestly believed that when my family saw how great she was, then all their reservations would vanish. Jess surprised me that morning when I arrived to pick her up. It was the first time I'd seen her wearing a dress and makeup. I walked alongside her happily, partly because my girlfriend was too pretty, partly because she was willing to go change herself for me, even though I didn't ask her to do it. Everything went smoothly. My parents' first impression of her seemed very good. That made both me and Jess feel much more comfortable. We were having fun chatting when a bird from nowhere came flying and pooed on Jess's lovely dress. She jumped up in panic immediately. She shook her dress like a rag and threw a bunch of dirty words right in front of my parents, who gave her unimpressed glares. She ended up kicking the whole picnic basket that my mom had spent ages preparing over, Food scattered everywhere. Jess looked embarrassed and asked to leave. I frantically followed and took her home. I couldn't help laughing at the situation. It was a bit funny and she was so cute. Then I arrived home and saw my parents' angry looks. They told me to end it with Jess, as she was angry, brash, and rude. I know Jess just panicked. She didn't mean to flip out. It was just an unintended incident. Everything was going fine until that dumb bird messed it all up. Now I don't know what to do. I love Jess and don't want to lose her. How can I persuade my parents to give her another chance?